Yeah. You already know it's your boy, the Maniac. And I'm here, joined to my right, the heavyweight champ of the
What, what,
world.
what, what, what?
And of
What it do? What
course,
it do?
my my brother, the one and only, Mr. Ball for Ball, UnoYouKno has joined us.
Yeah. What up, fellas? What's up, brethrens?
We
What's
good,
going on,
man.
bro?
We good.
What's up?
Ain't
What's up?
shit. Ain't shit about to start this track, you know what I mean? Wanted to come check the bros and send my love. Make sure you had a great show. I'm definitely tune in. And if I could get back out of transit soon enough, I'll rejoin and shit, you know what I mean? But had to stop through and show face, you know?
Copy.
Copy. No
So
doubt.
y'all have a good show. I'm gonna be tuned in. Y'all cook up. Y'all already know. Four
Copy.
corner shit. All right.
Say
See you,
no
Catch y'all in a
more,
bro.
little bit.
brother. All
All right.
right. So there you go. That's the brother Uno. Shout the Fight Night X. You know, X is a
Yeah.
busy man doing what he got to do. He might
Doing that.
join us, he might not, but you know, the show must go on. Me and the heavyweight champ is gonna hold it down. We are also gonna be joined by featherweight
Yes, sir.
contender out of Newark, New Jersey, Keith Tsunami Cologne will be joining us
Boom.
a little later. So yeah,
Special guest.
it is gonna go down. But anyway, Mo, how was your day, man? How's your week so far?
Man, my day was good. Week so far is good. Even better. 3-day weekend coming up. Last day of work tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that 3-day weekend. You dig?
Yeah,
How about
yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
though,
yeah,
brother? How's
yeah.
the
The
family?
same thing. Oh, no, same thing. 3 day weekend. Tomorrow the last day.
You about to put the
You know,
apron on? You got the rib seasoning with the sazon
it'll
and the
be
sofrito, all that marinating.
yeah, yeah. So what I was gonna say. Yeah, so I'm gonna just be chilling, man. I don't know if something come up, it come up. But right now it's just chilling, man. And it's all good, you know. I don't. I look at these holidays and it's like nothing big for me, you know.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear
But
you.
look,
But
man.
yeah, man,
Let's not waste any time here.
we had an interesting week of boxing. So let's get
Let's get to it. So the the card that all eyes was on for many reasons, whether you like Jake
like
Paul, whether you
Tupac.
don't like Jake Paul, or you was just there for the undercards. Listen, out in the Honda Center, California, Anaheim, they broke the gate. For gate, man. The Jake Paul does it again, man. You know, wherever he goes, this follows behind him. So so Mo, look, normally we break it down from the undercard to the main event. I want to do the opposite tonight.
Yeah.
I want to start from the main event to the first undercard. So obviously we know what the main
Okay.
event was. It was a cruiserweight sanctioned fight between Jake Paul and former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the son of the great Julio Cesar Chavez. So Mo, just just tell me, man, what was your thoughts on that fight, man?
Hold on a second, because I'm moving to a better setup right now. Because yeah, I gotta give my insight on this one because that was crazy. That was a crazy interesting fight. Let me just put it that way. Give me a second, my brother.
Now take your time.
Gotta go to my other setup here because yeah, this is so now that I'm here, all right, let's get to it. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Yeah, so the Jake Paul Chavez fight. That's what we talking about.
Correct.
My man took a dive. My man paid off that debt to the cartel that he owed. Whatever he did, that was not a fight. Ain't no way no one could tell me that's boxing sound can tell me that that man fought a good fight until the last what 3.5 rounds. From round 7, all of a sudden you wake up. Nah, not coming from that bloodline, not that lineage. The bro took a dive, man. I'm sorry. People could be mad at me. It is what it is. Chavez is more talented than that. And when he did decide to fight, you saw he caught Paul with some good shots. He's too much of a boxing mind to fight the way he fought. I'm sorry. Like I said, this is my opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but it is what it is. I've been around to see enough boxing, and I can tell when dudes is backpedaling and bullshitting and when dudes is really fighting. Chavez did not really fight until the last 3.5 rounds. And it was a cash grab. That's what it was. It was like, sign the check here. This is the script. This is what you're going to do. And that's that. And then I guess he must have gotten the talk from his corner. And he finally was like, you know what? My name on the line. My Mexican pride on the line. Let me decide to really fight. And that's what it was. Had he fought how he fought from round 7 to 10, it would have been a whole different fight and probably a different outcome. But
yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real. I like Jake Paul as a businessman. What he's doing for women boxing, hats off to him. A phenomenal job. The people that he's given opportunities to, the people are actually getting, to showcase their talents. But as far as him actually being in the ring, I don't want to see another Jake Paul fight until it's an actual real opponent, bro. I want to see a real solidified opponent. When I see him fight a real, that's what I'm saying, people. A real solidified opponent, not someone who's just recovering from rehab, not someone who's in AARP, not someone who's retiring from F1 racing, not someone who's a 10-year retiree in MMA. I'm talking about a solidified boxer, a boxer with a current active record. Let me hear that. Current active record. I don't want to hear none of that. When you beat somebody on that caliber, my hat goes off to you. But until right now, he's just the how can I say it? He's the drive-through for boxing. Jake Paul right now is a drive-through for boxing. You want a quick bag? You just go to the Jake Paul. You just go hit up Jake Paul. Jake Paul, let me get this quick bag. This is my situation. Okay, cool. It doesn't have to have the best presentation. It don't have to have the best quality meats and sides. It's just to fill you up. You know when you're on a road trip, bro, and you stop at the 7-Eleven, now I'm saying you're on the road, going on a road trip, you're like, damn, it's a corn dog. Nothing great about a corn dog, but I just need to put something in my belly until I get to my destination. That's kind of what it's looking like with his whole situation of fights. It's like a corn dog.
That's a great analogy, man. That's a great analogy.
And that's what these guys are doing to get the bag.
Yeah. And but also you got to remember, you got to fit the requirement to get that bag. He just not anybody could just call him, because trust me, there's real dogs that call them out, and he's not picking up those phone calls, you know?
He said, so,
no. He said, well, if you don't check all the boxes, you ain't getting that bag.
You're right.
So yeah, Mo, listen, right? You hate to associate a dive with boxing, because it's like we've been told the sport is rigged, it's been rigged, it's dirty, it's corrupted, but it is what it is. Listen, you're gonna tell me Chavez Jr. in the first round landed 0 punches on the
Thank you,
YouTuber.
bro. Come on.
Come on.
Let's talk about it.
And the first 4 rounds, he barely threw anything.
He was
right.
He was doing this like.
So as a boxing fan, you say to yourself, look, all right, I'm gonna watch, and then you were like, yo, this just doesn't seem right. Like, come on, it's not hating. Because we've been very transparent when it comes to Jake Paul here on this show. We've mentioned that we spoke about Jake Paul, the fighter, and Jake Paul, the promoter. Right? 2 different people. Let's be clear. And now, don't get me wrong. I think Jake Paul's a solid fighter. He is getting better. But I agree 1,000,000% with you. I need to see him somebody with a pulse, like you said, not someone that's old and a younger treat him like you'll treat another cruiserweight prospect is all I'm asking. That's it. But I think the problem with this situation, Mo, is that Jake Paul is more of a celebrity to me than a boxer, right? So when he's out there, he needs someone. Obviously, you need a dance partner, but a dance partner that's going to make people want to tune in enough. This is why you get the Anderson Silva. This is why you get the Chavez Jr. He fought Tommy Fury. He lost that fight, even though he did fight other dudes that weren't really no names, but that was more of him coming up. But I'm talking about now, right? Now that his feet is in the mud, bro, let's start getting into real fights so we can really look at you like a real. Not say he's not a real fighter. Again, it's more of a celebrity. This looks more like WWE. This is what it looks like.
That's it. It's the facts is the facts, man. That's one thing about us on Four Corners. We don't sugarcoat it. And like I said, whether you like it or not, it's the facts of facts. You know, we can't say no more about that.
Yeah. So I mean, Jake Paul gets the decision, unanimous over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., which I think we knew that already. I definitely picked him to win because, like I said, the circus must go on, and the tour must go on. You know. Right. So look, enough of that. Right. Were you able to see the whole card or the fights?
I didn't get to watch all the fights because it was my nephew's barbecue graduation celebration because he graduated from high school.
Okay.
But I got to see. I didn't even really get to say really see because I really didn't miss too much of it. I watched the Tevin and Schofield.
Yeah, which that wasn't really a fight. That's it. It was a but look,
that was a sacrifice.
So the co-main event was Gilberto Ramirez, aka Zerdo.
I saw that fight.
He fought Uniel Dorticos from Cuba, who has a very high knockout percentage. But again, this was a typical Zerdo fight. You know, he's a Mexican that he's not a volume puncher. He's not a fighter that's going to overwhelm you. He wants to be more of a boxer. He wants to move. And I mean, he got the win, but it was just a solid performance. If you even want to call it a solid performance, it almost had me, you know where.
Yeah, you was counting the sheep.
Yeah, it was bad. But he got the victory. He retains his belt, and they're talking about him and Ja Opatai, which that's what I want to hear.
I don't see that fight going far.
No. And then
that fight ain't going well.
So, what were you able to watch that fight or no?
Zotto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, man. Thank God thank God for my 6-year-old little cousin because she was running around the house because she kept me up because I was starting to doze off. Watching that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, you seen Friday? Remember Friday when the sister was getting her hair done? She had to sleep like this?
Yeah.
That's how I was doing in the recliner chair. I was like, Oh my! Oh, it's a
and
fight.
that's
Okay.
and it's very, very rare that you associate boring with a Mexican fighter. That is very rare in boxing.
Thank you.
So yeah,
That's like
I think anybody that watched that fight is gonna agree.
like you said, it's his style. And you know what it is too? It's the fact that it's cruiserweight. So let's be honest, it's the cruiserweight division. So we know anything from like light heavyweights, cruiserweights, heavyweights, all in that frame, 168 and up. That's the killer. Those are the knockout one punch, Google Gaga weight classes. So you expect like, okay, cruiserweight, you're gonna see some devastating punching power and knockouts, but not Zordo. Not Zordo.
Yeah.
He not doing that. He's a different style Mexican fighter. He sticks to the fundamentals. He's like how Tim Duncan. Everybody used to get on Tim Duncan. Like why he don't do this? Why he don't do that? Mr. Fundamental. Zordo's Mr. Fundamental. He sticks to what he's used to, and it gets him the victories now. But he's gonna have to step up and get big names too.
Yeah.
The training wheels got to come off for him too.
Yeah.
So,
he got to fight Ja Opatai, and that's that. That's the fight to be made at cruiserweight. But nonetheless, Zoldo gets it done. Shout to him. He has his record is crazy. He got like 50 wins. Like the dude, these Mexican fighters, they pad a lot of them, not all of them. They pad their record, out in Mexico. But we'll see. Again, we'll see. Hopefully, because that's the biggest fight that could be made at cruiserweight right now. So
right now,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. The fight before that, we had Raul Curiel out of Mexico versus Victor Rodriguez from Uruguay. And that was a fight. This was a fire fight. These dudes came out shaking. Bah, 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 bah. This is like, this was a gunfight. This was a gunfight at 2 feet apart. Just, just
one of those.
It was just, it was fun while it lasted. But Curiel got the best of him in the 4th round stoppage. And, Mo, you see from and by the way, Curiel, he's a welterweight. I believe now he's 16-0 with 14 night quills. He is trained by Robert Garcia.
Okay.
These fighters from those Central American countries, a lot of them are tough.
Yeah, they are.
They're marathon runners. After 3 or 4 rounds, they gas out. So I just knew. I said, the longer this fight go, I mean me. And I mean me. And that's it. After 4 rounds, bye-bye. It was all done, and Curiel got the win, man. So that was another Mexican fighter with a win. So did you see that fight or no?
No, I didn't get to check that fight.
Yeah, when you get a chance, I don't know if it's floating on the internet, but it was definitely a fight worth watching because I'm like, this I was far from closing my eyes for that.
Listen, if any fight kept you up, oh yeah. See, they got talking about the mother fights over there, had me yawning. See, look at that. I started thinking about Zordo fight again.
Yeah. So then before that fight, we had the opener. I think the fight that most of us were looking forward to. We had Floyd, Kid Austin Schofield. This is another prospect. Well, I call him a contender. I'm not going to even call him a prospect. He's a contender, lightweight contender, going up against gritty veteran Tevin Farmer out of Philadelphia. Mo, get in the kitchen for this one, man. What was your thoughts on that Kid Austin performance?
Yeah, listen, man. The kid did exactly what I knew he was going to do. He came out the gate running. came out the gate, guns blazing, and brought the pressure to the OG. And surprisingly, Tevin just was lost in the sauce. He didn't prepare. I don't know what it was. I'm not sure if he underestimated him. Not sure if he respected him too much because he got a good relationship with Schofield. But Schofield put all that respect out the window. Yeah, you might be my homie. I might have talked to you X amount of times. I got respect for you, OG, but I'm coming to take your head off. And he did exactly what his father said he was going to do. He coming out here to lay you out, and he did it, and it looked bad. Like it looked bad, like real bad. I don't even think Tevin Farmer got 20 punches thrown. Like it was bad. What was it? How fast that fight ended?
It was about a minute and change.
It was just like straight out the gate. Pow! It's like a dog when you don't feed a pit bull for like a week, and then all of a sudden he just see that T-bone stink just hanging there, and then you just let the chain go. That's what it did to Tevin Farmer, bro. It was bad. It was bad. I didn't expect him to go out like that. I thought it was gonna be more competitive, but Schofield did what he did. The youth just took over the OG, and those first couple of Mings, he wasn't able to recover. He wasn't able to recover.
The first one.
It's bad when a referee is telling you, "Are you okay?" and you looking this way, the referee's right here in front of you. You looking to the opposite. It's like, yeah, it is. They save you from yourself. And the referee did what he had to do. He stopped the fight at the right time.
No one was upset with the stoppage, man. Kid Austin took a lot of flack. They say he was ducking Shakur. He ducked out that fight. Again, your opinion is your opinion. If people felt that way, we don't really know the story.
I can't say what the man's medical issue was. I wasn't there. Only him, his father, and God know the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, who's to say? You got people that travel, that go to other countries, get sick. Shit, I just happened. I went to Puerto Rico, came back, got sick, bro. It happens. You travel, go to different countries, destinations. It happens. So who's to say that something didn't happen to him? But I'm glad to see he's back. He's healthy. He's active. He got a world champion under his belt. Somebody that is known for being the underdog. Who's a dog who went 2 fights against Ramirez, 2 questionable fights.
Cepeda,
against Cepeda, who I thought he won the one of those fights. Hey, he handled his business. Next up, let's get Shakur and him going. Let's get Shakur and him shaking. Shakur, there's no excuse for you now after you fight July 12th. If you're victorious, let's set it up. Schofield versus Shakur. Let's do it.
So, real quick, because that fight was real quick.
Real quick
because the fight was real quick. Going into this fight, I did pick Floyd Schofield. Absolutely not by stoppage. I said it was going to be a close, gritty fight. I said Tevin Farmer will have a great chance of, for the upset. But this was never a fight. When Schofield landed that right on his chin, bro, the way he put him on his ass, that timeout, he put him on timeout. He said, boom, you right there. I told you one cookie. You want to take 3? Hang. He gave him that. Boom. And after that, like you said, like Tevin Farmer was just, again, the dog in him, you could see it, but his body wasn't there physically. Yeah. And I said, was blood in the water. After that first knockdown, there was blood in the water. And that's the kind of performance, if you team Schofield, you wanted. So now people could do this, and you say, look, I know I had some fights that weren't so pretty, but this is what I'm capable of. Exactly. Because we can say what we want about Tevin Farmer, he was a legitimate opponent. And we knew that he had a chance of upsetting him. If not upsetting him, at least making it tough for him.
Right. And exactly.
That never was the case. So shout to Kid Austin. and his team. Like you said, Mo, it's good to see that he's healthy. And he's locked and loaded, man. He's locked and loaded, and he's ready. He's ready for a mega fight, and we know what that fight is, man. That's that Shakur, and that was gonna be round 2. But I think we said it right, because round 2 was who, Schofield and Jake Paul. Who we want to see them in with next? We said Jake Paul. We want to see him in there with a legitimate, another fighter, up and coming, just a fighter. Like I said. If treat him like a cruiserweight prospect.
There you go.
Is all I'm saying. And then Schofield, let's get the Shakur fight going. As long as Shakur get past Cepeda with no injuries, then there's no reason why we don't get that fight at the end of the year.
At the end of the year, let's get it going around November,
December. I totally agree, man. So that was that. That was in California, the Honda Center. Shout the MVP Promotions. I mean, the main event was nothing to watch, but they deliver financially.
Yeah, and that's it.
It's a business, Mo. It's a business. These places don't care if you're a gimmick, if you're a YouTube star. If you could bring me money, then come on. Please, give me more. Give me more of the circus. Give me more Barnum and Bailey. But
yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to. Money talk, bull crap walk, man.
That's it. On Friday, we had Christian and Billy going up against Polish Sulecki. What's his damn? His first name is like Masijac. I'm not gonna.
It starts with an M. Sulecki. M. Sulecki.
Sulecki. This was for the interim WBC super middleweight title. We know who is the undisputed champion in that division. He goes by the name of Saul Canelo Alvarez, who will be taking on Terence Crawford in September. Those belts will be up in that match. But and Billy, man, he fights out of Canada, but he's African. Yeah. And one thing, we love, Mo, he in four corners, and most boxing fans, fighters who don't play with their food. We like to see when the plate is served in front of you that you get busy. Mo, what was your thoughts on Christian and Billy's performance against Sulecki?
Oh man, listen, it was like heating up a hot pocket. It was a good you put that hot pocket in for a good 2.5, 3 minutes. Bing! Quick meal. That's exactly what he did to Sulecki. Did him dirty, too. He caught him with the Street Fighter uppercut. That's that Borak joint. He got, After that, he got back up, start stumbling, start looking every which way. Ref stopped the fight. Nasty, too, because he caught him with a left hook to the body and then slipped the right uppercut as Sulecki was about to throw a punch. So he caught him in mid-action, and then it was just like you say, Ming.
I mean me.
That was it.
So, and regardless, let's just say, no, let me not get there. That'll be for the next round. So he just went in there. He took care of business. He wasted no time. Sulecki, just to give you a little background on him, he lost to Boo Boo Andre, he lost to Danny Jacobs, and he lost to Diego Pacheco. Those were his only 3 losses going into this fight. But he's been stopped in his last 2 losses. Boo Boo and Danny did not stop him. They beat him via decision. But Pacheco and then Billy, did him the ugliest. Yeah, so it just might be that time for Sulecki to hang it up. And it's all good, man. He's a rugged veteran, and you can't take nothing from him, man. But
for sure. He's had some wars. He had some wars.
Can Billy, next round, can Billy land that Canelo fight?
Right now?
Next year. It won't be this year. I'm talking about maybe sometime next year.
Can he be on the hit list for us? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's up to the red-hand man. But let's just put it out there because I don't want to jump the gun too early. We got to see what gets done in September because it might be a new undisputed champion walking around at 168 that could change the game plan. So we got to see how that turns out. But is N Billy a candidate to be on the hit list? Yeah, I see N Billy being on that list for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
Will the opportunity present himself if it comes? That's the question. September is very interesting, people, with this 168 division because a lot of things can change a lot of plans that was being drawn up in the secret rooms and promoters doing this and that. A lot of venues that are possibly hosting this and that event. Things could be put on a hold real quick. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And that's pretty much what happened last weekend. Friday, that was a Eye of the Tiger / top rank co-promotion, which was on ESPN Plus. And then of course on the zone we had MVP promotions with the Jake Paul Chavez Jr. Now, we do have a fight this coming weekend, Mo. Is a fighter that we all know. He goes by the name of El Gato. Jack Catterall is a return. He's fighting. I like this guy's name. He's fighting Harlem Eubanks.
Harlem Eubanks.
Harlem Eubanks. He's not fighting the Bronx Eubanks, the Brooklyn Eubanks.
Harlem.
He's fighting the Harlem Eubanks.
Oh,
you know.
It's about to get rugged.
This is at welterweight, by the way, Mo. This is at welterweight. This is Catterall making his debut.
He moving out.
Remember, Catterall is coming off a very close fight loss to Barbosa, which gave Barbosa that Tio fight. But Catterall's back, man. He said, look, man, I took that L. I'm ready to get back in. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know Harlem Eubanks. I don't. So you know what I do? I go right to YouTube and I put highlights. And the guy has 9 knockouts. He's undefeated, by the way.
Right.
My question is this. He's tough. I like his tenacity. He's kind of a guy that gets after it. Not the most technically sound. He keeps his hands low. He doesn't have a high guard. So I could see a lot of opportunity for Catterall. Plus, Catterall being the more experienced fighter and an awkward fighter. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight, honestly. But I'm going to go with the veteran because, again, that's who I know. But listen, these are 2 European fighters. Anything could happen. It will not shock me if Catterall loses. And real quick, Mo, 2 fighters on that card making a return is former world champion Joe Cordina and former world champion Sky Nicholson. They'll be on that card as well. Sky is back.
All right, Sky and Cordina. Wow, it's been a minute. Last time we seen Cordina, he was picking his mouthpiece up.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good. So that's what we have. We only just have one major card this week, but next week we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Did you hear the breaking news that's going around the boxing world?
Wow.
You know it's my division, so you know I have to bring you the news.
The heavyweight?
Turkey, yeah. We
might get a
trilogy. Tyson coming out of retirement for Usyk. Usyk versus Fury trilogy. It's rumor. It's going around. Streets is talking. They saying Turkey in the back room. He in the back room with the rubies.
Listen, I'd rather Tyson Fury fight Anthony Joshua. They both coming off a loss. Let them get that fight off.
And they interviewed him, and Tyson Fury said he'll beat the dog shit out of Dubois.
Hey, listen, he might, but talk is cheap.
It is, but that trilogy we talked about it a long time ago. Four Corners. We said don't be surprised if it win, lose, or draw. However, it turns out for Tyson, will that trilogy happen? And listen, the behind the scenes they're saying there's negotiations being done. So we shall see, people. We shall see.
Man.
If it happens, listen, we already know. People gonna tune in. I'm gonna watch.
No, I mean, cut it out. Of
I'm gonna
course, I'm
watch.
going to watch. I'm not going to sit here and say no, but is it a fight? Is it a fight that I'm salivating for? Absolutely not. Because I saw, man, Usyk is just a better fighter, man. I mean,
He just
buy
got
it.
more grit.
Fury's a dangerous fighter. Yeah, if they fight maybe another time or two, like they fight 4 times, Fury's eventually gonna get him one time because he's just that good. But um, look, I don't blame him because one thing for certain, they're gonna get that bag, that Santa
You
Claus
gotta
bag,
bring that.
that
That's a fact.
that that
And you know
ching
it's going
ching.
back across seas, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a goodie though. It's gonna be a goodie. A lot of good
Yeah.
boxing coming up, man. A lot of good boxing.
Oh,
On another, we got the ladies
and
coming up.
Haney, Brian Norman.
Yeah, I heard negotiations. They're talking about it, right? Or they
No,
settled
they
it for
said it's
sure.
official for
It's
November.
official. And for
Yep. They're
November,
talking about November.
okay.
There's no date set, but we know whenever Turkey is involved, that should be another stat card. Expect some other monsters
Let's
in
give a
there.
quick shout out to the supporters.
Yes,
Appreciate
Jenny,
y'all,
sis, I
Jen.
see you. Who
Appreciate the
else?
support. The
Yo, the
dream.
Dominican Dream, my brother.
Uno, you know.
Uno, Mr. Bar for Bar. Salute to everyone. Four Corners. X. What up, brother?
La, la,
I
la,
mean
la.
me. I mean me. Laughing. I mean when I.
So you wanna we got our special guest. We could do the intro for him. Go ahead, brother. Take it over, and I'll bring
Of
him in.
course, man. This ain't the first time we have this brother on, man. We talking about up and coming, soon to be a contender, but he's still prospect right now. 6-0, 6 NyQuils, representing the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. My brother got that sad song. My brother got drip. And listen, man, he got it all, man. This is a future star in the making, man. I promise you. We got featherweight. I'm sorry. Damn, I won't.
You get excited. You get excited.
Yeah. Keith Tsunami Cologne.
What's going on? What's going on?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for your time, man. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going, champ? How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Can't complain. Same thing, you know.
Listen, my brother want to ask you a question. I'm gonna get straight to the meat and to potatoes. We know you in school. He's also in school, people. He attends Rutgers University. Well, I think psychology major.
Yeah, I'm a psychology major.
Woo! My boy is about to be Dr. Cologne. All right. You know what I mean? So after he put the belt to ass, he gonna console you on his couch for a nice fee. All right. So he can talk you through it, all right? Through your
Yeah.
trauma that he put you in the ring. But yeah, man, listen. I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes. School's out. Who we putting belt to ass to? Because I know it's coming, man. Who's next?
Yeah,
What
nah.
we talking about?
Man, we got an opponent locked in right now. Well, it's not locked in, but we looking to see, we could get him. Of course he still got to get cleared. He still got to accept the fight the whole nine. But we got somebody a tough opponent too. Like I've been saying this. We want the quality opponents, and so like this go around like we really trying to push for that early. Just get somebody that's tough, get somebody that's actually gonna go in there and try to win. So
Right.
Definitely a great competitor, great opponent, and he been in there with some of the top guys already. So that's another thing that we feel as though would be the push for him. You know, for him to be accepted to fight me.
Okay. Okay.
Right. No doubt, man. Yeah, yeah. I see you got that. I got that date circled in Philadelphia, man. You definitely taking over that tri-state, the East Coast, man. I love that. So Keith, we saw in your last fight, you made your OTX debut. Um, Second round, you gave him that night quilt. You said, listen, man, I don't get paid for overtime over here, but I do get paid for knockouts because they do give you an incentive. So you know, it was good, man. How was that experience, man, over in OTX?
It was a great experience. We dealt with OTX before, with like the proving grounds and all the other stuff like social media stuff. They always been good people. Who's always looking out. Um, you know, they have great relationships. We have a great relationship with them. Because it's like a win-win situation. So once my fight kind of fell through, I was supposed to fight a week before, and once it kind of fell through, they was just like, yeah, we'll have you on the card. So I was just grateful, just to be able to get a fight. Grateful for them to allow me to perform on their platform, because they could have easily been like, no, this or that, which is understandable, but they was like, nah, like, we still gonna ride with you. So I'm grateful for that.
No doubt, man. And I'm glad that they did, because to me, you fit that mold, right? You seen Scooby on there. We even had Lorenzo Truck Simpson on there. You know, we had a lot of, like, they try to look out for these fighters from the inner city, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you come from. And right now, you can be a mega star, man, in the making. And I know one thing that you and your dad and your team, man, y'all focus, y'all make sure that y'all stay focused, man. So now this school is out. This is boxing 24/7. What are we doing here?
So like I just got done. I just got done with a fight. So like, I just got, like how you said, I just fought on OTX about like probably like
2 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago. Yeah. So for real, we didn't have nothing set up. They asked me when did I want to get back in the ring. I told them, I told them, if they give me back early August, then that'd be perfect right there. Early August. They shot something like late July, but I'm like, nah, give me something early August. So they got the August 9th card. I was like, yeah, like that's perfect. That's perfect. And like how you said, I'm still in school, so it's come September come, I'm gonna be right back in school. I don't want to be like dealing with school and boxing early on in the beginning. I want to be smooth, easy going the
Right.
first like month. But yeah. So I told him, late August. I mean early August, and my dad, he was like, it's a show that you sure you want to fight? I'm like, yeah. So that's how I was able to get on that card. But right now, I'm just I'm getting back into the training camp. I still been in the gym. I only took 1 week off, but it's
Okay.
important that you don't always go so hard. You gotta ease your way in the training camps. Get your body back used to the hard workouts and then the hard sparring, and then cool it back down. Come fight week. So that's where we at right now. We just we kicking it up little by little.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we know you at featherweight still. If an opportunity arises at, let's say, at 130 or even at 122, would it be a problem making either of those weights, or right now is 26 or nothing?
Nah, 130 it wouldn't be a problem. 122 wouldn't be a problem either. I've been campaigning at 26. This past year. Just because it's been easier, like just racking up the fights. It's been super easy getting these fights at 26. It's not a lot of 22 pounders, and it's not a lot of 26 pounders either. So right now we've been just focusing at 26. But like I could definitely make 22, especially we just like added a nutritionist. So being getting the right foods in me with the right amount of time, 22 is definitely doable. Now too, it's hot. I'll be losing like 6 7 pounds a day. So yeah, it's crazy, but I feel like both is doable. It's just like I said, it just gotta make sense, and yeah, it gotta make sense.
Yeah. All right. No, yeah, I figured. I just wanted to know because sometimes how these promoters are. Listen, I got my man, but he at 122. Or I got my man, he at 130. What you want to
Yeah,
do? And it's like, damn, what should I do? Because at the same time, I just want to know how comfortable you're gonna be. Because I know as a fighter, man, certain weight classes they tough to make. They not
yeah,
easy, and sometimes that could cripple you in a
definitely.
fight. So.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
also, Keith, I know we know you 6-0, like I mentioned. So no offers yet, man, from none of these major promotional companies, or you guys are just taking your time and just waiting for that right offer.
We had multiple offers from, you know, different, multiple promotional companies. Um, yeah, we definitely had offers, but just the main thing was like it was plenty of reasons why we didn't sign. We could get in particulars about this promotional company, about another promotional company. It was different reasons for each one. But ultimately, like where I'm at right now in my career, or at the time, offers was being made, it just didn't make sense for me or my team. Like I'm 6-0 within a year. We wanted a lot of fights early. Early on in our career, we felt like signing with a big promotional company, we wouldn't be able to get that many fights. They would have probably only fought me the times that they was on the East Coast, or here or there, when it made sense for them. So that's one reason. Another reason is, like, I had a lot of pullouts, but I was able to fight within like the next week. That wouldn't be possible with a promotional company. Like I said, they would have probably sat me down. They would have called me like 2 months later, like, look, all right, we got to fight for you now. But that being said, like, it just didn't make sense, and a lot of things that they was trying to offer, my team is already doing. So it's like, why sign with a promotion company when my team is already doing the hard work, the dirty work?
Right. So basically, you ain't want to be a can on the shelf.
Yeah,
I feel
nah,
you.
nah, at
I
all.
feel you. That's smart business. That's smart business, especially for a young man at your age, young in your career. Like you already see, I'm sure that you see a lot of some of the political things that go on in boxing that
Yeah,
us fans don't see behind the scenes. So you're like, oh no, I already see what they're doing with this person's contract or how they're handling him and managing him. I
yeah,
don't want to be like that. So that's a good insight to have because at the end of the day, you do control your own fate. And at the end of the day, these promotional companies work for you. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You bring the ass to the seats, especially
right,
with the way you've been performing. So you got to let them know. Listen, I understand that we're a partnership, but still, you work for me, and these are the things that I want. And if that
yeah,
can't happen, then you know what? It's not my time to work with you. God's gonna put you in the right situation. So just
right,
continue to work the
exactly.
way you're working. And listen, one thing they say, you ain't got to go find talent. If talent's already there and the skills is there, the record speak for itself. The right company gonna come to you.
For sure. You're right about
Yeah.
that.
No. And definitely, one thing, because you don't play with your food, Keith. You definitely don't play with your food. Once you in there, you there to take care of
He
business.
better not.
Eh,
He's Spanish, man. You don't. When the last time you see it? When the last time you seen a plate of food in a Spanish person plate? Especially
yo,
if abuela's cooking it or mommy, you forget about it. That's gonna be an
yeah,
empty plate. You going
yeah,
back for
yeah,
second
yeah.
plate.
Word up.
No, no, definitely, man. And that's and obviously this is what these, to me, if I'm a promotional company, right? If I'm a promoter, excuse me, these are the kind of fighters. Plus, you got the Puerto Rican background. It's like, oh man, this guy's
Fan
knocking. He's
base.
Puerto Rican, bro. I'm
Yeah,
trying to, I'm trying to get this guy, man, because that flag holds weight no matter where you go. They're gonna know,
right.
oh, that has a lot of history. There's a lot of
Yeah,
fighters behind that. So, but now I'm
exactly.
good, man. I like that. Like like Mo was saying, I'm like that. That you say, listen, my team is already cooking for me. So right
Yeah,
now, we good. So and look, you already about that. You got something lined up for August 9th. So yeah, your team is definitely working hard, man. And that's what we want to see from
yeah,
prospects is consistency, man, which is you got to be active, activity, and every fight getting better. And so far,
right.
that's what you've been doing.
So
Thank
Keith,
you.
let me ask you, since you're not training right now, what's been that go-to meal that you've been like, yeah, I've been getting busy on this lately. What's
The
that
go-to
go-to meal?
meal, uh, I ain't gonna lie. Right now, I've been chilling. Like I ain't even been on nothing crazy, But I would say the go-to meal lately. Like, I just had like rice, beans, and chicken. Like I just been like that right there. Like that's the regular for me. So I'm like, all right. I ain't going too crazy though. It's just yeah. I feel like you could say that's my go-to meal though.
Okay, I
And
thought you was gonna say like porterhouse, a loaded baked potato. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Nice little salad.
nah. I've been cooling, man. I don't even because I don't like getting like I don't like feeling too like slow while I'm training. Like I said, I'm still training the
Got
gym.
you.
And like I be still wanting to hit the bag, and I don't like feeling like a little tired or sluggish. So
It's the
like that'll be
summer.
like,
I got
dang,
you.
yeah. So like I if I feel like that, I'm like, man, I'm about to give me a pliable real quick or something. That's how it be for me.
yeah, yeah. No, no. That so now normally, what your diet to be like? A lot of veggies, fruits. Cause listen, I'm trying to eat a little clean, man. So I'm gonna need a little advice, Keith. Let me throw your man some
Yeah,
some pointers.
yeah. Yeah, veggies for sure. Just understanding like your carbs. Understanding your carbs, what it do for you. Because it's like you can get real creative with it, but it's hard when you're doing it yourself. But like for me, like I said, like for my last camp, I was able to have like a nutritionist to kind of like just this and this, this is for this, your energy, you about to spar, take this, constantly drink this. But more of the story is just like I feel like having a nutritionist first, and then if you want to do it on your own, that's the best way to go because they the specialists at what they do. I'm a specialist in the ring. They the specialists at what they do, prepping.
Right.
So it's different. Like it's not just just eat salad if you want to cut weight or eat fruit. It's like no, you want to have these nutrients in your body. You want to always have these minerals in your body. You want to because that'll help you while training and it keep you feeling sharp. Like taking your sea moss, stuff like little stuff like that. So like for me, that goes a long way
92. Seymour to the 92, man. Gotta get on that. Gotta get on that.
Nah,
Maniac.
I heard of it. No, I heard of it. I heard of the Seymours.
Telling you, man, that Seymour game changer.
for sure.
Um, so do they so normally like I know you say you training, so you walk around like what's the highest you say you might walk around like 140?
For real. I ain't even hop on the scale yet since my last fight, but I say, yeah, I really don't cut weight till like 2 weeks before my fight, really the week before, but I say really like 36, 37. Because I'm always if I touch 40, that's like 2 weeks not being in the gym. You get what I'm saying? Eating out every day. You'll see it in my face. My face would be fat. You feel me? Like I wouldn't even look like myself. I look like a potato in the head. Like for real.
Oh man. Okay, so let me ask you a question, Keith. For those who don't know, like say you have a youngster that look up to you in the gym, and they're saying, I like the sport of boxing. I'm into the sport of boxing. I want to do what you do. I want to become a professional boxer. What what insight and advice would you give a young man, a young boy, or a young girl? Because we have girl fighters that are in the game too. So, what advice would you give to the youth that want to make this as a career?
I tell him, find somebody that you can learn from, and never be afraid to face the best. I feel like with those two, you get real far. You get real far when you put on top of that hard work, dedication, good work ethics, all of that combined to make for a great fighter.
Okay, okay. So I'm sure you in tune to what's going on in the boxing world right now, and we got these fights that are coming up. We're gonna start with July. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor 3. Who you got in that fight?
I got Amanda winning.
Yes,
I feel like
sir.
she came close. I feel like she came close multiple times. I feel like both times, the second time it was a little rough because it's hard to judge a fight when you cut and you blood squirting everywhere. So it's like I could see where the judges might have, gave it to Katie. But I feel like the first fight she won. But I feel like this fight right here, she gonna lay it all on the line. You're gonna really see Amanda like go out round one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I already been in there twice with you. There's no reason for me to fill you out. Round one, be ready for the war. So I feel like that's
Fact.
the biggest difference.
Will you be? We gonna be in the building that day, Keith. You gonna
Word.
be there, or you be watching from home?
No, I'll probably be watching home with my family. Um, Now, I mean, you never know. You get a call last minute like,
Listen,
yo, we
Keith,
need you
get
to
that
pull up.
call.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, cool. But
Yeah.
as of right now, I'll probably be home watching it. Yeah.
Okay. Also on that, we
The
have
next day.
the next day taking over Queens. We got yep, one of the most talented fighters in boxing. I give him credit when it's due, but Shakur Stevenson versus Cepeda.
Right.
Who you got in that fight?
I got Shakur. Winning. I say that because a lot of people they be like, dang, Shakur ain't got no power, whatever the case might be. But I tell a lot of people, right, go back to the amateurs. It's on YouTube when he fight a guy named Muhammad Ali from I think London. It's a guy that he fought named Muhammad Ali from London. Southpaw, pressure fighter, threw a lot of punches. And the way how of course the pros and amateurs is way different. But that'll show you how, sometimes just because a lot of person throw a lot of punches, that, like William Zepeda is not a person that got a crazy pop. He said he's a volume puncher. He throws a lot
Exactly.
of
Correct.
punches. But in that fight, Shakur clearly wasn't the bigger puncher. However, he landed the biggest shots because this guy just threw three, four pieces and never was like defensively responsible. So I feel like that fight when he had in the amateurs with that kid Muhammad Ali in this fight is gonna be a clear resemblance of each other. So I feel like Shakur gonna win a fight.
Okay, so we got Shakur. That's two. That's two for Puerto Rico. Now the main event, we got EB, the big Puerto Rican, Edgar Berlanga ex's versus Maniac's cousin, Ham Ham Shalas. Maniac, that's your
Yo,
cousin from your daddy, uncle, sister side. You know what
that's
I'm
Nah.
saying?
crazy.
From London.
He got
But
jokes, Keith. You see, he got jokes
Yeah, he
today.
just plays you
but
out.
yeah, Ham Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga. Who you got in that fight?
Yeah, no, I like that fight a lot, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm rocking with Edgar, man, and I really see it. I really feel like that's gonna be a great fight, but because it's gonna be a great fight, I feel like Edgar got a chance to clip him. Because
Yeah.
Shiraz, he's not like a bum or anything. So I feel like it's gonna be a close fight. Like Edgar gonna get his off, and Shiraz gonna get his off, but within the exchange, I feel like Edgar just gonna catch him in between, and you know that may be it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm rocking with Edgar for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I got Edgar winning that fight. I think a lot of people underestimate Edgar Berlanga has a solid chin. He even though he got dropped by Canelo, but it was a mistake that he made. And it was one of those off balance, you get caught not looking type shots. But then after that, you know what I'm saying? Like he was getting hit with some shots in that fight. He held his own. But we've seen what happened with Shiraz when he's fought Ammo and when he's fought Adamas, and it got real
Yeah,
shaky for him. I just don't think he can withstand Edgar's type of power.
yeah. I feel
Edgar,
as though also, a lot of people that, after Edgar's like knockout streak ended, people started judging him, but they gotta understand, like, he went like less than like what 16 rounds. You get what I'm saying? Like he really didn't have any pro experience, in my opinion. You know,
Mhm.
and he was a person that kind of fell in love. Like it's bound to happen. When you fall in love with your power, when you think that
right?
anything that you hit gonna drop. Like you get what I'm saying? Like not that it happened to me, but it's like I constantly remind myself that I'm a boxer, even though I had 6 knockouts with only 6 fights. But I could see how he had 16 with 16 first
Yeah,
round knockouts. Like you get what I'm saying?
right.
Even if he's not a quote unquote knockout artist on an elite level, he has pop and precision, to get it over now. So for him to go from that to jumping in there with Canelo, I really feel like the moment bring out the best in Edgar. You see it, you see the training is a little different. He kind of isolate himself. Even though he didn't win with Canelo, he showed a lot of good things. You get what I'm saying? That
Potential.
he didn't. Yeah, a lot of good potential before. After he kind of looked a little shaky because of whatever it was. But I'm like, dang, this Edgar, it's a different Edgar. You get what I'm saying? It's like you could see a thinking Edgar. You could see a Edgar that's actually, that's looking to build off of certain things. So that's my thing. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people just doubting him.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. I was one of those people that I liked Edgar Berlanga when he first started. And I was rooting for him, but then, like you said, when the knockouts start happening, it was like, okay, what else you have? I feel like he was kind of trying to find himself as a
yeah,
Yeah,
fighter.
yeah,
he
It's like,
was.
okay, the knockout stopping. Okay, do I become a boxer? Do I become a brawler? Do I become, do I become a pick and pop kind of fighter where I try to be slick with it? Like, what am I trying to do? And then, it also doesn't, it hurts you when you got different people in your camp, different trainers, different that, because you don't get to find your niche. It's like, you
yeah,
know, it's like you being in a basketball game, and then you get 2 or 3 shots up, the coach pull you out, but then you
yeah,
go in the game for 2 minutes. It's like I can't get my rhythm, I can't get my
yeah,
flow, and I felt like he didn't get it until he got to that Canelo fight, and then moving on. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing now. Okay, I'm seeing a different Edgar, and this is what I
yeah,
want to see with him because I think he does have potential, and I think now he's starting to realize like, look, this is my livelihood. This is like the life I have. I gotta take it to a whole new level. So I'm
yeah.
excited to see where he's gonna go with it. I do think he's gonna have a really good fight with Shiraz, but I just think it's gonna be a nasty. I think it's gonna be a nasty ending for him as well for
For
Shiraz,
sure.
man.
And like I said in the beginning, when you asked me like what would I tell a younger fighter, I said, fight the best competition and keep people around you that's gonna keep you sharp or somebody that's better than you. And
Right,
Edgar is a prime example of that. Like, he's fighting the best competition. So yeah, he lost, but really that's a win mentally, you know what I'm saying? Because like how he said, like he saw what it was to go into a ring where even his own people was doubting him. You get what I'm saying?
right, yeah,
So, and for him to do what he did, and he walked out with more fans because they respect him. It's like, oh wait, no, I was wrong. Like you actually did what you were supposed to do. I mean, you didn't win, but you fought your heart out. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you could always
Yeah,
respect that. And
It's,
another thing, he got a lot of killers in his camp too. Like Najee Lopez, shout out to him. He another one getting
yeah,
in.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
and he got it's a kid called Blast. I don't know his real name, but Blast he's sharp too. And this is like you feel me, like having those guys around him. And plus, I think he had like a tall Cuban heavyweight, I think, or something like that, Puerto Rican heavyweight in his camp. So it's like that's a good thing to see when you got people in there that you don't just got like punching bags as sparring partners for camp. A lot of people do that. But when you got people that's in there that's actually competitive and they want to win every single round, just as much as you want to win every single round, that right there we bring you to a whole new level. So that's why I also feel like, people is gonna see like a new and improved Edgar for sure.
No
Right.
doubt.
And my last question to ask you about another big fight we got coming up. As you know, September is going down, undisputed, 168, Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Who you got in that fight? If you got anybody in that fight, and what's your prediction in that fight?
I like both fighters for real. I really do. But I feel like Bud gonna win, and I say that because yeah, Canelo is the bigger guy weight wise, but I feel like the biggest challenge for Bud would not be the power. It would just be more so of him carrying that weight, of him being in the ring fighting against that weight. Because you could
Yeah,
spar all the time. It's like people wonder, like, dang, I spar 10 rounds and I don't get tired, but I fight a 4 round and I get tired. Because you could spar all the time, a fight is gonna be different. You know. Um, so I feel like that's gonna be the biggest advantage. It's not gonna be the scales. It's not gonna be Canelo power. It's just more so the weight. How his body react fight night with all the weight on him versus him being at 47. You get what I'm trying to say? Versus him fighting a 47 pounder. So like that'd be the difference. But I feel like that's what training camps is for. It's to prepare you for you not to be at your best. So
right.
with him, and I feel like he's real aware of that. That's not gonna be a factor. If it was something like Canelo had a big skill gap, then that'd be
Yeah,
something like, yeah, nah. But I feel like Canelo got more to plan for than Crawford. He's fighting a southpaw orthodox that could bend in the
yeah.
sandbox.
You can
You get what I'm
switch.
saying? So he really got to prepare for more rather than Bud just bringing in somebody that's going. I need a tough, probably like 180 pounder. Just to really
Bring
prepare me and push me. You get what I'm
a
Yeah.
saying? And I feel
cruiserweight in
like,
there, spar with him.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, might
for
as well.
real.
You might
Yeah,
as
pump on
well.
them arms, see if they get tired, start building them back up. So like I said, I feel like Bud would be victorious.
So my last question, then I'm gonna let you take over, Maniac. With that fight happening, even though it's at 168, you think Bud's gonna come in at 168, or you think he's gonna throw in some extra pounds just to be prepared for what Canelo gonna try to bring to him?
Uh,
Because fight night,
honestly, I
once you make that contract weight, fighters they throw in that
Balloon.
extra weight.
yeah,
They balloon, yeah.
I don't feel like he will. I don't feel like he will balloon up. I really don't because like me being a boxer, like I know how it is to like make a weight and then you put on weight. Like people think like, oh yeah, it's good. It's good until it's good depending on your comfortability. You gotta
Yeah, yeah,
also think if he was at 168 and he ballooned up to 188, which is 20 more pounds, he ain't been training like that's like
he
fighting
ain't
with like
been
a
training
20
almost two.
pound vest on. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that's like fighting with arm weights on because you got extra. You get what I'm saying? That's like fighting with ankle weights on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like people don't be thinking about that, but when you a fighter and you go through, it, you like, damn, I feel a little heavier. Like, why my arms getting tired right now? Is because you just packed on 20 pounds overnight. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't be thinking that. But I don't feel like he gonna. I feel like he gonna stay there. And I don't even see Canelo blowing up to like anything crazy because he's not really like you know he's just a stocky dude. He's not really like a tall guy for him to like keep on
Correct.
right.
So
You're gonna
I
notice
feel
it
like
on him.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
for sure.
And being and Keith, being that Mo asked you about a couple of fights coming up on your insight. Who are three fighters, man? Did you like to watch seeing? That you say when they fight and you like, oh, I'm pretty sure Bud is one of them. But
Yeah.
um, who was the other two that when they fight and you like, oh no, I know there's probably more than three, but all right, let me just say this. Who is your three favorite fighters right now?
Oh, my three favorite. Um, my three favorite fighters and my three favorite people I like to see fight. That's
Ooh.
different.
Hey, he gave me a question.
Hey, if you request, see,
Yeah.
you see the
Yeah.
rebuttal? You see the
So yeah, you see the rebuttal, man. He a battle rapper, man.
you see
I mean, that's
actually
different though.
All right, so
both questions.
look,
You
you
can
know
answer
what?
both
No,
of them.
let's do watch. Let's say the three top fighters you like to watch.
Alright, so one I'm gonna throw up in there is Anyway, cause
Ooh,
yeah, Anyway, super explosive. Um, However, we've been recently seeing like like the dramatic fight course of him getting knocked down. His last two fights he got dropped, and him coming back and just dominating. But like like I feel like lately like he been like that's just a person that's like dang, he fighting. I always go a little early to watch him fight for sure. So that's one person anyway.
yeah.
Um, Another person I like watching is Tank. Tank. His fights be dramatic as well. It's like it be like the momentum be shifting, and then he'll come out with a big knockout. But even for like that last fight with Lamont, that was a big one round Tank, one round Lamont, one round Tank.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like that's a great one. Tank, that's another great fight that I like to watch. And my last one, I'm trying to think, man. Who fought recently? I'm trying to see who fought recently. That's been
Um,
exciting.
recently, you had the it was Tio, Haney, Ryan. That was like a couple of months ago, and then who else?
Yeah, that's
And the way fought.
in a
Who was
way.
in the
Yeah, that
garden recently?
I feel like I'm missing
Hitchens.
somebody.
Yeah,
Hit,
Richard. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
Africa.
yeah, Africa. I feel like with like me watching Africa, especially his last fight, that was like fire to see to see that because like he had his training camp in my gym, so it's like I was able to see him, see the inside, see the inside of his the inside of part, the more personal side of his fight camp,
yeah,
things that other people may not get to see, and to see him go out there and perform is just like it's a difference between fighting and performing, so he performed that night, and it's like I get to see that and I'm like, dang, you feel me, like I could take notes from certain things, especially certain times in camps, it's just like, all right, like that was just beautiful for me to watch and for me to see him, just have fun and do his thing, because we always be in the gym laughing, cracking jokes, talking trash and all that. So it was good. It was good to watch.
definitely. So now, by those fighters that we just mentioned, if you could take one thing from those fighters and add it to your arsenal, what would it be?
Um,
Let's
I'm a,
start
I'm a,
with
I'm
in
a,
the way.
in a way, if I could take one thing from them and add it to my arsenal, in a way, I say, I say, I wouldn't even say his power. He just got thud. Like it's different between power and thud.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? He got
yeah,
a thud to him, and I feel like yeah, like he got a thud behind his punches. That's the reason why he's able to climb up these weight classes because he really got thud. It's not even power. He got thud. So I say that for
Yeah,
anyway.
his precision is like his precision and timing is
Yeah,
like on point.
yeah, yeah.
for sure.
And then Tank.
Uh,
If there's something from Tank you could take.
yeah, Tank. I'll take. I mean, if I feel like I'm pretty good, like I'm a pretty patient fighter. I don't rush, but I feel like that's like one of his best attributes is his patience. You get what I'm saying? Not rushing, not feeling like, oh yeah, I gotta land this shot right now. Like he'll probably go rounds knowing that he losing, But he like a fighter know when they like, I see this shot is opening up more and more and more. Like I landed it the first round, I showed it the second time, he flinched. Like I'm holding this in my back. I just wanted to get a little bit more closer. So his patience is like that's world champ status patience right there. Just not rushing, um, just having the confidence that like trust within himself. So I say that. And
Let me ask you a question, Keith, with that, because I hear a lot. I've heard a lot of fighters say this, especially Tank and other fighters. But I've heard Canelo say it a few times. Um, how does a fighter know, like, when a guy is like wearing down? Like when they say, "Oh yeah, I can feel his punching power. I can feel his punches
yeah,
ain't the same." Because me, a mofo hit me, I'm like, "Yo, it's just still feeling, you're still feeling power behind it, bro." Like, how do you know,
yeah.
like the levels
it's
died down as a boxer?
it's really, I'm gonna say this right. A lot of people could give it, but a lot of people can't take it. So it's like, in the first 3 rounds, everybody is everybody is like Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali fast, Mike Tyson strong. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's a great fighter. They first 3 rounds. If we being for real. And if they not, then that means they just wasn't on your level or they wasn't in shape. You know what I'm saying? But like at the top level, the first 3 rounds, everybody's a great fighter. So um, you know, like the punches that you kind of feel in the gloves, they'll feel different, come around 8. You get what I'm trying to say? Like them punches don't got the same
Pop.
steam on them. Yeah, they don't have the same pop on them. Um, so it really got to do with like conditioning. Um, and like I said, like when you fight in a 12-round fight, it really take a knowledgeable person to understand. Like I'm giving you this right now, but I'm about to take it later on. Like that's skills.
Yeah,
That's you could be a world class fighter. You could have all the great things, but if you don't have like that right there, patience to understand, like you gonna break down. When you look at Floyd fights, watch how the first 3 rounds he was always moving. Round 4 and 5, he started, less punch output, but more walking to a person. You know what I'm saying? It's just understanding like how to break down these opponents. Um, yeah, just having patience, man. But like I said, you could gauge it just based off of how a person hitting you round 1 versus round 8. It's a big difference.
copy. So let me ask you with that, to piggyback on that. I don't want you to have, I don't want you to give away your secret, or maybe
Huh?
you could just give away as a boxer. Like when you're looking across at your opponent and you know they're wearing down, what are you looking at? Are you looking at their footwork? Are you looking at their legs? Are you looking at their waist movement?
They
Are you looking at
breathing.
how they breathe in? Like their eyes, like how they're like, are they breathing through their nose? They breathing through their mouthpiece with their mouth open? Like what are the key like secrets and pinpoints you're looking at? Like, oh yeah, this person is fatiguing and breaking down.
Um, yeah, it could be a lot of different factors. Like I'm gonna be honest, right? You could have some people that's tired, like they breathing hard, but they still got a great punch output. It's like he's clearly tired, but he like quote unquote fighting for his life. You get what I'm
Okay,
saying? In that case, he ain't fatigued. You get what I'm saying? He's
don't
still
fall
throwing
for the trap.
punches. You get what I'm saying? So like, if he's still throwing punches, it's still dangerous. Like you could still get hit, you could still get clipped. So even though he's fighting for his life, it's just like that's the most dangerous person you gotta watch out for. You get what I'm saying? It's because
Right.
he fighting for his life right now. However, now if you got another person, like how you said, he may not be breathing hard, but you notice his hands dropping. You shot that feint and he reacted super late. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
He stopped moving his head after he punched. He stopped moving his feet. Like those right there is like really the big indicators. When a person start moving their feet, to get out of danger, or when they just shut up like this, it's like 9 times out of 10, they slowing down, they run out of gas.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So Keith, look, man, we know you got school, you got boxing. So what's Keith's love life like? Do we got wifey or we just on the market? What are we doing? Because as men, yo, we need a woman too.
You complete the fifth
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, you feel me like how you said. Everybody need a woman. You know what I'm saying? So
He be playing that Chris Brown in there. He doing this Chris Breezy. Chris Breezy.
hey yo, nah.
Right?
Nah, that's
So
funny.
you just pretty much dating. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, of course. You feel me?
All
Like you gotta have balance. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like when you
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at any person that is great, they great because they have balance. Anybody that's too dialed in, whether that's too dialed in the gym or not dialed in enough in the gym, they got, you know, they just out of it. But you gotta have balance. You feel me? That's how you last long in the sport, and that's how you just keep the love going for the sport. Just you gotta miss it sometimes.
yes.
And
Fact.
anybody that come in your life, you got to understand this is my livelihood. This is my
Oh yeah,
career.
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
you got to
And,
understand the
and
balance.
the reason I asked that, Keith, is that right. Let's just say if you did have a wifey, right? Like, now I got my girlfriend, my fiance.
Yeah,
As you climb that ladder, they all gonna they the more gonna be coming out.
yeah,
they gonna
yeah,
be in them DMs. They gonna be like, "Hey, papi,
yeah,
boricua." So it's kind of hard because listen, we men like at the end of the day, you like, damn, Scotty, bang. But
yeah.
I got wifey. I gotta chill out. So because you've seen it with Teofimo Lopez. You've seen it with fighters. They go through stuff, and I know that can affect you mentally, right? Because listen, man, at the end of the day, men, we got feelings. I know we taught to be hard, and now, especially when we fall for a female, we be crying for hours. That's how it is. So I just want to make sure that true. And even though I know but I just want to know, what it was because that plays a factor in too, man. Because if you're in a relationship and it's not going well and it's in the middle of training camp, I mean, it can mean two things. That means your opponent gonna really get it, or you might go in there with heavy baggage on the mind, and that can cause you can still
For
win,
sure.
but a sluggish performance or even an L.
Right.
Yeah, I feel as though fighters they gotta understand. They gotta know. This how you tell a good fighter from a great fighter when they know how to block things out. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
Mm,
you get what I'm saying. You gotta know how to block things out. Like I just told a kid in the gym. Like you gotta know when to be a dog. You gotta know when to turn it off. It's the same thing like this. Like you gotta know when to deal with it and when just to like what, like right now I gotta block it out. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And like I'll never go into a fight. You get what I'm saying? Like willing to like taking something out on another guy. Like that's for me. That's like bad. That's bad game plan. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you fighting blind. You fighting with your heart. Like that's dumb.
See?
You gotta always be smart. Yeah, be tactical. Be patient. And yeah,
Great answer,
Okay.
bro. Great
That
answer,
was a
Keith.
great
That's a
answer.
very
Wonderful.
mature. That's a veteran answer, man. Someone
yeah.
you answer that like someone that's been fighting for like 10, 12 years professionally. I know you've been fighting for a long time, so I'm glad to hear that, man. We know you got a great. First of all, very educated brother. You're very well spoken. Obviously, you're going into which year in Rutgers in September.
This, yeah, this my last year.
Oh.
Woo. D- Dr. Cologne.
Yo, he about to walk
Dr.
down that aisle.
Cologne.
He's
I
about
told
to walk.
y'all. After he
He,
put the belt to ass, he gonna lay y'all on his couch. And don't worry, it's
listen,
$500 an hour fee.
Mo,
yeah.
he gonna be like, listen, ain't nothing personal, fam. It wasn't personal.
Listen, like
It's
my man
business.
Nino Brown said in the chat, it's business, baby, not personal.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, 100% business.
No, it's good, man. But Mo, man, you got any last words for Keith before we
Yeah,
let him
Keith,
go?
man. Listen, keep us updated on all your endeavors that you're doing, all your promotion, what's going on with the promotion companies, who's coming to holler at you, all the fights. We're gonna be rocking with you at Four Corners, August 9th. We praying for a major success and that you go in there healthy, come out healthy, you and your opponent. And like I say, belt to ass, Dr. Cologne is up
Yeah,
next.
yes, sir.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
that.
Listen, man. Yeah, Keith, again, my brother. Thank you, man, for your time. I know your time is precious, man. You probably tired. I know you got a lot going on. So
Take it to
whenever
your
you
father.
take
Tell
time,
your father much appreciated too.
yeah. Shout to your
Most
pops,
definitely.
man. Cool dude. Whenever you take time, out your busy schedule to come over here and speak with us, man, is always a pleasure, man. So we look forward to seeing you again, my brother. You
People,
have a great evening.
There's
And
social media. We just dropped it in the chat where you can
yeah.
find Keith on the social media platforms, on his YouTube, on his Twitch. Go check him out, man. Listen, he's up next. One of the
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
one of Puerto Rico's next rising stars and future world champion.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I
Keith.
appreciate y'all for
Thank you,
having me
Keith.
again.
No
Salute,
problem.
my brother.
Thank you.
All right. One. Yes, sir. So again, man, we had the Tsunami, man. And that's how he's been fighting in the ring, man. That's how he's been in the ring, man. He's been a Tsunami. He's
Weather
going in there.
advisory. He's coming in there with weather advisory.
Weather advisory for sure, man. And you know what, Mo? What I like is that you can see how he's mature. You can see he carry himself like he's a young man, but he doesn't act like, as they say, these YNs.
Yeah,
he's not.
He's got an old soul, and that
Yeah,
that
and
goes
that's good.
for the people. That's his upbringing, his camp and his team. They keep
His
him
pops, I know too. His pops, man, and that's what those are the things, right? When you're talking to a fighter, you want to see, right? Because those are the things that also help you in the ring, but also in life, man. You're not, he's just not a dude like, I'll just fight. He's just calm and he understands. Like,
Right.
look, it's a business. We got to go about it this way. And just moments, man. Man,
I
shout
love
to
to see
Keith
that.
Pillow, man. No, I
You know,
like him, man. I like him a lot, man. And we've been rooting for him. I was in the Prudential Center for his debut. That was when Shakur fought Hartunian.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So anyway, look, me and Mo, we broke down last week's fights. We kind of spoke about the only card this week, the Jack Catterall. That'll be on the Zone around 2 p.m. So tune in if you got the Zone. If you're not doing anything Saturday, tune in, or you catch it on another day. But that's another one. Again, shout to Keith Cologne for coming on and showing us love. And man, till next week, man. Next Wednesday, same time, same people.
Same people, man. 4 corners, Uno, my brothers. You know how the 15 rounds of boxing team do. Everybody have a blessed week. Thank you for tuning in. Have a safe and blessed 4th of July weekend. Be safe, and we'll see y'all next week.
This is Four Corners Boxing.
Hello.
These guys are on the scene, making it happen. This is a New York freaking. You guys are New York, right here.
Yes.